And welcome back to another episode of Inspiring Identities, where we come to inspire through faith, love, life, theology, culture, and many, many more. I'm your host, Jabo. Let's get into this topic. Now, today's topic is a little bit, I guess it's very controversial in a lot of places. But this, like I said, this is a podcast about opinions. This is my personal opinion. I don't condemn anyone for their opinion, but this is just me. And this topic is about allowing transgenders to compete in certain competitions. For example, like I personally feel as though that shouldn't go. Why? Because of the fact that one, everything that women, like genetic women who were born women, have fought for as far as equal rights, equal workers' opportunity, the ability to be seen as another human rather than a weaker species. It gets, for me, like I feel as though they get, when transgenders get to compete in their fields, I feel as though we push everything that they fought for back by years. The reason why is because women fought to be put in a category similar to men. They wanted to not be considered as a weaker species, but as the same species. They don't want to just be seen as, okay, it's a woman, so she's more emotional, or she's weaker, or she doesn't think as strong. But they wanted to be thought of as a human who bleeds red, who can do something just as good as any other human. So when we tell a transgender man who decided to become a woman that, hey, you can compete in a woman's field, I personally feel as though we're pushing their equal rights, their opportunities, everything that women strove for to get where they are in today's society. I feel as though we push it back. Because why? Now you're allowing man to dominate another field that women fought hard to create. For example, when you put a transgender man and a man who became a woman inside of a women's Olympic full of women who trained, who fought, who bled, who sweat to the peak of their existence to get to that place, and you put a man who is physically built a specific way to compete in their field. For example, right? Women have a certain requirement that they need to meet. So do men. So do people who were born with the dwarf syndrome. So do people who have mental. What's the best way to say it? Who have mental issues. Like, we created in society a realm for everybody to compete, and they have a certain requirements. Now, if you decide to put a 6'4" man who decided to be a woman inside of a woman's Olympic race of women who are between 5 feet to 5'8", and mind you, yes, they're all tall women. We know this. The WNBA proves it. But when you put this kind of person, because they say, "Oh, I identify as a woman," now I believe that we are inserting men spitting on women's equal rights and saying that, yo, everything that you women fought for, we no longer care about, because we care about these people's feelings. Rather, what I think we should do, I personally believe we should give women their own field. Personally, I believe that we should give women their own area where they can compete with one another and compete as one another. We should give transgenders their own Olympics. We should give them their own categories. But I personally don't think that they should be allowed to compete in who they identify as. And I personally believe that for safety reasons, right? Let's say, for example, right, this is, God forbid this really doesn't happen, but let's say, for example, right, even though a man decided to be a woman, genetically he's still a man. He still thinks like a man, he still has the pride of a man. So imagine this transgender decides, hey, I want to compete in the Women's Olympics, right? And there's a woman, a genetic woman, a woman who was born as a woman, who is besting him in whatever area or whatever field, may it be wrestling or whatever that they may be going at it in, and because he has the pride of a man, he blacks out and just takes things a little bit more serious. Imagine the headlines of transgender man murders Olympic contestant because she was better than him. Now, imagine this, right? Let's say we allow a woman who decided to be a man into a male sport. Let's use the same thing as wrestling. Now, that man who is born a man knows that, okay, yo, this is a woman who decided to be a man. And let's say that this is one of those homophobes, one of those people who doesn't accept transgenders. We have to realize that the amount of physical abuse that will come in that match, mental abuse that will come in that match, the amount of humiliation that will come in that match, because that genetic man is not going to put up with this modified man. This man is going to, the pride of that man is probably going to be like, oh, yo, so you a woman who wanna play in a man's field? Oh, so I'm going to dog you out like a man. And then it's going to be the headlines of, imagine if he takes it too far. Olympic man kills transgender contestant in Olympics. Like, I don't think we learn from our mistakes in history. Like, this is something we should get first quarter. Don't, this is my personal opinion. Like, I'm sure there may be transgenders out there who may not agree with me. There may be people out there who do not agree with me, and that's okay. Like, I have no problem with talking to you guys. I have no problem with sitting down and explaining my viewpoints, and I have no problem with listening to you guys. But this is just from my opinion, my knowledge, and my historical foundation. And this is not just from some Christian standpoint. This is just me thinking reasonably and logically that if we can give everybody else their own lane, why would we try to merge lane? Why would we try to merge in lanes at this point? Personally, I think it's dangerous. Like, I think things can go really wrong with this. But this is me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just crazy. But I mean, think about it. How many homophobes do we have in today's society that are willing to beat down and kill transgenders, people who are homosexuals, with no sense of remorse, with no compassion? Just they will do it and humiliate them. So now imagine putting these same people together, competing with what they hate the most. Personally, I think we are putting I personally think we are putting transgenders up for the slaughterhouse. But that's just me. I'm your host, Jaber, with another episode of Inspiring Identities, where we come to inspire through faith, love, life, theology, culture, and many more. Be blessed, be humble, be native. Let God use y'all.